It is after 9:30, and this was really cool. And so we were banging on folks' doors, sitting there saying, hey, we want to talk, hey, we want to talk, and hey, we want to talk. And so now we get the chance to talk to Katie George and Jovan Booker about something really cool that happened with Atlanta Amputee Soccer. Welcome to the morning show. Make sure that your seatbelts are fastened and that your tray tables are in the full upright and locked positions. Very, very cool. Congratulations, Katie and Jovan. For those that may not know, I'm just going to read the headline, and then I'm going to ask you a question. So the headline is, Atlanta Amputee Soccer wins 2025 Adapt and Thrive Disability Award. Katie, when I read you that headline, what comes to mind?
Yeah, I think it's truly just a miracle. I've kind of been reflecting over the last few days of, we were presented the award by Stuart Sharp from US Soccer this past Friday. And I think starting from nothing, really the inception of Atlanta Amputee Soccer, Jovan was a participant at the US Adapt and Thrive Leadership Program in December of 2023. And I went just as a friend of Jose with Integrated Dreams. And he was kind of like, his project was creating regional teams and was like, what about amputee soccer in Atlanta? And I was like, maybe, because I knew nothing about amputee soccer at the time. And then we connected probably a month later about it. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And so from its inception then to now, in just, a couple short years, to then be recognized by US Soccer in this way, just for creating the opportunity for individuals with limb loss and limb difference to be able to play is, like I said, I feel nothing short of a miracle. So.
All right. So, Jovan, take me back to that initial meeting when the two of you just started kind of sitting there saying, how about this? Yeah, okay, that sounds good. How about this? Let's do this. Do you remember that first meeting and what sticks out in your mind?
Sure. Well, first off, thank you, John, for having us. Taking back to that first initial time Katie and I met, I think it really was just an opportunity to grow the sport. And I think Katie came on really just passionate about soccer, and also being that she works with individuals with intellectual disabilities, like there was already some alignment there. And I think really it just quickly went from a seed to starting to grow as a full flower. And I think now you're seeing the results of us just kind of having multiple conversations, coming up with goals. And then now I think you're just seeing a lot of those goals come to fruition. I think really just the platform that US Soccer gave us with the Adapt and Thrive Leadership Program really gave us the confidence and also the resources to be able to carry out a lot of the goals that we set. And then really it was just the passion and really truly just the selfless work from a team of individuals that were really invested in wanting to build a community here. And I think that is what the most special part about Atlanta Amputee Soccer is. And that's kind of what the first reaction is to anyone who comes out to any of our programs, right? Is that there is really a community building here. And it's not just for the limb loss and limb different community, it's also for everyone. And I think that's the message that we want to continue to send, and want to continue to just invite people out to give it a try. Amputee soccer is a sport played on one leg. They call it the fastest game on one leg. But it doesn't mean that you need to have a disability to be able to play. And I think Atlanta Amputee Soccer has been a true testament of that. There are amongst probably 30 people that were there this past Saturday, all people with disabilities, people without disabilities, families. And we think that aspect is truly, really important, because we recognize that sport is healing for a lot of people. It can be therapy, it can be an outlet. And we just want to continue to help provide a space where people can come, enjoy the beautiful game, and as well as make meaningful relationships that hopefully will last for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, Katie, the first clinic was back in June of 24. So you're talking 20 months from that first clinic where you had a couple of folks and now participations in double-digit figures. You have that core group of 7 that's there. And this is recreational and competitive. Look, you've sent folks to the national team camps from all of this growth. And I mean, this is something that you're talking about less than 2 years from Clinic A to now. You're getting this kind of depth and recognition and import when it comes to this particular type of soccer. What is it? Does it seem like it was yesterday? Does it seem like it's been a whirlwind? Is it somewhere in the middle? What has this 20 months been like to get to here?
Yeah, I think really all the above, like you said. A little bit of how did we get here so quickly, and like it's also been a journey.
How did you get here so quickly?
Truly, just connections. Just the connection of Jovan, Jovan actually plays for the U.S. national team and captains New York Metro amputee soccer team. We obviously met at the Adapt and Thrive. So he is really very much in the American Amputee Soccer Association, which is the governing body. And we really are just a regional representation of them. And I kind of gave my yes when I did that January. And then he met my co-founder, Daniel Copeland, at a PT conference in Boston and put us in touch. And then we had a meeting. And then just a couple months later, we were off to the races with our first clinic that had, I think, maybe like 5 people at it, a couple of athletes. And then our athlete pool has just continued to grow. And we found that we're able to get more athletes through word of mouth, but very much through like personal connection. And so we've just continue to grow. And very much a big part of it too is our relationship with Soccer in the Streets. They provide us the fields to play with, just support us in all ways possible. And I was fortunate enough to already have a connection with them by serving with their Emerging Leaders Council. And so they've just been totally bought in. A number of their staff and just volunteers have come out and tried it out too and their kiddos. And it's just more and more people coming in. And like Jovan had mentioned, the community aspect is huge because people want to come out and people want to play. And so on Saturday, we had one of our athletes, Nick, and his like 2-year-old daughter, to Stuart Sharp and his daughter was there. And then Elliot, who's our kind of longtime youngest kiddo we have. And then we had a new 11-year-old girl who was there, who's an athlete with upper limb difference. And then we have, players in their 30s and then other people on the Emerging Leaders Council coming and just friends who we invite and are into it. So, and then David specifically is our athlete that went to the national team training camp, and he's been there since day one. He's our team captain. And he's just gotten really, really locked into it and is choosing to pursue that competitive pathway. And he's an incredible athlete.
Katie George and Jovan Book are hanging out with us because of the recognition Atlanta Amputee Soccer got within the U.S. soccer universe and atmosphere. Very, very cool stuff from you guys. Jovan, let me ask you this. When you have one of these camps, and Katie, you can book in this as well. So when you see someone come out for the first time and they're not quite sure, it's like, okay, I'm just going to show up here. Yes, I'm an athlete, but I just kind of see what's going on. I'm not sure that I want to do this. What are those conversations like with that athlete to bring them under the tent, to bring them, on the other side of the netting and have them go out there to sit there? And it's like, yeah, it's okay. Come on out here and participate and be a part of things because we think it'll benefit you today, yes, in the short term, but it'll be something that you can build long term. What's it like to have that first conversation when somebody comes out for the first time?
Yeah, that's a great question, John. I think really what is most important to us is that people feel seen and that we can have the opportunity to meet them where they are. Because we recognize that maybe not everyone is going to come in and immediately is going to want to take that competitive pathway. But our job is really just to educate them on the pathways that are available for them. And then it's really kind of up to them to really feel out where they feel like they fit in. And then realistically, it's just, we want people to come back. So we want to make good first impressions. We want to be able to, love on people and create a community that is welcoming and inclusive. And then we kind of just, we set the table, and then we allow people to just kind of come as they are. So I think really over the years, as long as I've been on the national team for over a decade now, and been to a few World Cups, and also played a huge role in just trying to grow the sport off the pitch, which is something I'm extremely passionate about. And I think we've really just kind of hit a stride as the sport grows globally, and as we continue to, we all can continue to put work here to grow it domestically. I think we just realized that there is a need for this, because right now there really is there's no pathway for athletes other than playing on their mainstream soccer teams. If they're like a high school athlete or coming up through the mainstream soccer landscape, we find that when we introduce amputee soccer, especially to people with limb difference, it's like they finally found their wings, and they finally found a place where they can compete at the highest level, and they don't feel like they are that there's a level playing field. Because growing up, I played mainstream soccer on my prosthetic leg, and for the longest time, it was like that's all I knew. And then the first time I found amputee soccer, I was always one of the slower, maybe not slower, but just like felt like I was at a disadvantage. We're playing a two-legged sport and I only have one leg. But I think the first time that I was introduced to amputee soccer was like, oh, wow, like I'm now become one of the faster players, and I have the technical ability. It was just, a lot of it was just getting used to the crutches. And then I think fast forward to like my first time meeting Elliot and having Kim come out. I think it was just one of those special, fulfilling moments of like seeing the joy in his face that I felt that one day when I was like, wow, this is for me. And I think that is I think we really, it makes me emotional, but I think it's really special that we get to provide this experience for athletes, especially not to discount our adult athletes, but I think for kids, it's really special because they're in this process of trying to figure out their identity and trying to figure out how they're going to navigate this world with a disability. And I think being able to instill this confidence in them that you are going to be whatever you want to be, and there is this opportunity here for you if you want it. And also just kind of continuing to allow them to just be in a space where people aren't going to ask them questions about their disability. That's not the first thing we're going to ask them. Like we're going to ask you your name, and we're going to want to just play soccer. And that, I think that is like freeing for people, because it's like out in the world, curiosity is real and people want to know what they don't know. So we recognize that like asking questions is important, but we also want to create this space where people can come in and just be as they are and not feel the pressure of just kind of having to feel their disability heavily. And I think that's what we notice too, is that everyone after they leave, it's all smiles. And we also enjoy spending time together. I think that is one of the special things, especially about this program, that I notice is that people show up because they love soccer, but people show up because they love the people that are there.
Katie, what's it like for you? You know, obviously with what Jovan was just talking about, you get to see it through that prism, but what's it like for you to see all of it happening in front of you and to see that light come on for the first time for somebody?
Absolutely. I think specifically first, just kind of relating back to what Jovan said, even on Saturday when we had all these people out, there were a number of family members specifically who were kiddos who able-bodied, they have 2 legs, and they were like, yeah, put me in, get me crutches, size me up, and let's go. And we had some new adults too, and they were just all locked in. So I think that just lends to the piece of like creating the opportunity for those with limb difference to be able to play, because anybody can play. In practice ended at 11:30 on Saturday, and we didn't leave. The last of us didn't leave till 1:30, So it's truly just truly just a community of people who want to be there. And like I said, it was Ella's first day, and to see her out there, I got the opportunity to talk to her dad. And he was like, just to see her out here, just absolutely where she's meant to be. Nobody's asking questions. She's out here playing soccer, which she loves. She plays on just mainstream soccer as a goalkeeper already. And so just to see the joy in her eyes, and just out there on the field playing with all of us, she absolutely killed it. And that was fantastic. Just so incredible to see. And I kind of mentioned, like, upon reflection, like, it all just feels like a miracle. And like, we've really marveled over it the last few days, of from our first meeting about it to what we've done up to this point. Like, we've checked so many of those goals off. But the biggest piece is we've impacted a number of lives. These athletes who come out and have the opportunity, they're absolutely locked in. There's like, when is our next practice, which the schedule for the coming months should be finalized by the end of the week. So we will get that out. But yeah, it's life-changing.
So, and Jovan, you can answer this first. And if the answer is the same, Katie, once again, you can draft off of the answer. What do you need to continue to grow what you've built in a very short period of time, to continue the growth curve and continue to make it a place where everyone can come by and just enjoy the experience? A, if you just want to stand and watch, or B, participate and be an integral part of it. What do you need going forward to tackle those next goals that are on that list?
Yeah, that's, I think that's the question that we're constantly asking each other, and we're constantly kind of coming back together and brainstorming and trying to kind of solve the puzzle. I think one of the big pieces is visibility. So even just the opportunity to share our story here is a blessing. I think the next piece is there are like significant barriers to entry to sport for a lot of people, whether it be equipment, whether it be travel, whether it be potentially not having a program in their area. And in order to establish programs, like, we need the people. So I think that one of the things is just spreading the word, giving that visibility piece, allowing people to understand that these programs exist, and that in the spaces that they don't exist, that we're looking for people to want to jump on board and want to help kind of build a team to help facilitate programs, because it doesn't just happen with one person. It may start with one person, but it takes a team full of passionate people. And also it takes the resources. I think that's the biggest part, is that a lot of times, the biggest wall that we jump into, I think just in general, is sometimes money and funding.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a sticky thing, because people love what we do, but it's kind of, it's a challenge to figure out, okay, like, what do we actually need? Where do we want to put all these resources towards? And I think with this program, with the Atlanta Amputee Soccer, I think we put people first. And we're like, if we can build a strong team of people that want to do this work, then all the other things will kind of fall in line. And I think the next piece, as we continue to grow and expand, is just that we want to continue to build like strategic partnerships. We want to be able to bring people on board that align with our mission, and organizations that align with our mission, so that we can collaborate, that we can continue to also grow the brand of Atlanta Amputee Soccer. And I think all those are coming in time, but we also just we want to build a league here. We want to build a league here in the United States.
Katie's got to figure out how to get you traded from New York down here to Atlanta, man.
They're working
Right,
on it. They're working on it.
New York is home for him, but he actually lives in Boston for work now. But he's here as much as he can be.
Yeah.
Because we also happen to be dating now, which really just, we met, had the conversation about Atlanta Amputee Soccer, and started dating after that. So he's here as much as we can be, which we're so grateful for, because for him to be here on Saturday to introduce it to so many people, I mean, it's really what he does for part of his day-to-day job. So like I said earlier about just that connection piece, like the ability to have Jovan here to lead the practices and make those starting points for a lot of people is life-changing, because he has the lived experience and has a lot of experience in the sport, where I am learning, and Daniel and I have been learning over the last few years, but it's in his blood. So
she doesn't give herself enough credit, John. She's an amputee soccer expert herself. She just is humble.
Well, and I just have this vision of my head about the organizational meetings now with the two of you. With the two of you, is it a block vote with the two of you now, or are there still points of discussion when it comes?
No, my vote doesn't count. I am just a consultant here. And I'm just here for support.
Yeah, we got to work on that trade from New York down there. we got to get league expansion to get you down here and have you be Katie, really quickly, because I know that both of you have to get back to the real world and do like real world things. For folks that want to follow along and see what it's all about, find out more about what just happened, and find out about the future, where do they go?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll share mine, and then I'm going to let him just give a little insight on what's coming in 2026 for amputee soccer, both stateside and with the World Cup coming up. But specifically for Atlanta amputee soccer, we don't have our own personal website. The American Amputee Soccer Association is that governing body where if you're interested in just getting involved in any way, there is a regional link you can submit a Google form to. But I run our Instagram account, which is our main form of just putting information out there, connecting with people. And that's ATL Amp Soccer, at ATL Amp Soccer. And then you can also email myself or Daniel, and my US Soccer email, US Amp Soccer email is kgeorge@usampsoccer.org.
Okay.
So we'd love to hear from anybody that's interested. And just piggybacking off the last question, all the things Jovan said, the biggest thing to keep growing is just finding more athletes.
Yeah.
So in any way that, like he said, this specifically can reach somebody that's interested, and anybody's welcome to come out. They don't have to even get on crutches the first time if they don't want to, but oftentimes they do, because it's a fun and it's a really safe space.
All right, Jovan, next event. What do we need to keep an eye on the calendar?
Yeah, so we actually just qualified for the 2026 Amputee Soccer World Cup.
That's what I'm talking about.
November, absolutely. Yeah. So we're fired up. We've been training every month since December, getting prepared, and you can kind of keep a lookout for the World Cup later this fall, where you can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on the World Amputee Football Federation on YouTube. You also can watch past games on there. And then we are going to be going to Poland in June for some international competition. And then things going on stateside in April will be in DC, where we're going to have an international friendly with France at Georgetown University. And then for those who are also looking to have an opportunity to be introduced to the sport and maybe are looking to potentially take a competitive pathway, but don't want to feel the pressure of our national cup, which is kind of the big thing that we have later this year. There is an open cup in New England this coming April. And all this information, again, as Katie mentioned, if you go to American or usampsoccer.org and you go to that info bar, you can reach out and you can get all the information for all these upcoming events and the details of them. But then lastly, we have our US Amp Cup that will be in New York this year. That's going to be in July. So a lot of things coming up, a lot of opportunities for people to get involved, whether you want to be involved as a player, whether you want to come on and support on staff, whether you want to volunteer. It's an awesome time to get involved with amputee soccer, and we invite everyone out to come and see the fastest sport on one leg.
Yeah, and we gotta get these championships down here. We gotta have them at the busiest airport in the world. Busiest airport in the world for a reason. You get to have
Absolutely.
champions come out, bring them out of the Northeast. And if you go to the website, by the way, the gear is pretty sweet, and that reminds me that I've got to buy the gear to add to my stacks.
We
Katie,
got to get you a flag, John.
well,
Absolutely.
I mean, look. The studio space is more than welcome for anything and everything, but I saw the sweatshirts and I instantly fell in love. Katie and Jovan, I can't thank you guys enough. I know that you guys have to get back to the real world. Fantastic stuff. Congrats on the award. Continue kicking you know what, and do not be strangers, okay? Just keep letting us know what's going on, and we'll obviously be as big a megaphone as we possibly can. Congratulations. Get back to work and catch your breath for a little bit. I give you the sum total of about, 3 minutes? Before you guys have to get back to it.
Beautiful. Absolutely. Thank you, John.
Thank you so
We
much,
appreciate
John.
you.
Katie and Jovan, as always, very, very cool to catch up with them.